When the storm comes, the loudest noise is never the thunder outside. It's the panic inside. The mind breaks itself long before life lands a blow. And this is the part nobody wants to say out loud. Most suffering is homemade. A man who has not trained his mind to stand still will beg for the world to be gentle. But the world does not bend for soft minds. So the Stoics, Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, left us reminders carved in cold words for warm hands. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Most people repeat that line like a nice quote. The calm ones live it like bone. Desire is where the storm begins, a craving for more comfort, more praise, more eyes watching. Desire paints the future as salvation, but all it really sells is debt. The Stoic sees how wanting too much ties the mind in knots. Wanting less is freedom. The one who can stand with empty hands stands unshaken when life takes what it always planned to take anyway. Burnout grows from this wanting. Most who drown in exhaustion aren't working too hard. They're worrying too much about what happens if they stop. They run themselves raw, trying to be seen, trying to prove to ghosts they're worthy of rest. But rest does not wait at the end of noise. Rest is built in silence. Seneca saw this centuries before the modern mind invented hustle. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Fear feeds on this waste. It creeps in when the mind spins at night. What if I lose this? What if they leave? What if it all cracks open and everyone sees I am softer than I pretend? Fear thrives in busy minds that can't sit still enough to stare it down. Epictetus taught men born in chains that freedom is not given by luck. Freedom is built by seeing that fear is a ghost made real only if you bow to it. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. So, the Stoic stands inside the worry, not to fight it, not to scream it away, but to see it for what it is, a soft lie the mind tells to keep itself busy. The man who can breathe through fear without feeding it becomes untouchable by storms that tear other minds apart. Comparison sharpens fear's teeth. It's easy to feel calm alone in a room, but the second the eyes drift sideways, the mind forgets its own ground. Someone else moves faster, smiles wider, seems freer, so the mind spins. Why not me? But Marcus wrote it plain. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. The Stoic cuts the sideways glance short. The only measure is the mind's calm in chaos. Not applause, not envy, not borrowed reflections. Stillness is not natural to most. The mind wants to chatter, wants to replay old cuts, wants to fix what cannot be fixed by thought alone. Overthinking is the silent fever that burns away the day before it's lived. The Stoic trains the mind to stop talking to itself like a child lost in a crowd. Breathe, return. What is now? What can be done now? Anything beyond that is noise, pretending to be wisdom. Inner chaos is slow poison. It builds in small excuses. One more worry, one more secret hunger, one more fear that never gets named out loud. The Stoic drags that chaos into the light, sits with it, starves it by refusing to feed it cheap attention. It hurts, but it passes. Everything passes when the mind is trained not to clutch it tight. A man's identity is the last truth he must see alone, not the name others chant, not the image in glass or on screens. The Stoics knew who they were because they stripped away what the world gave, left only the breath that cannot be owned. The one who knows himself cannot be owned by another's praise, nor broken by another's scorn. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Marcus didn't write that for scholars. He wrote it for himself when his own mind tried to betray him. Purpose is not noise. Purpose is not the shout of a crowd. It is the vow a man makes in the quiet when no one is clapping. It is the hand that rises when the alarm rings, the back that bends to work when the mood says not today, the eyes that stay clear when everyone else looks away. The Stoic's purpose is not found. It is forged daily in tiny, dull moments that no one sees, and that is why it holds when the storms come. Solitude is the forge. Solitude teaches what noise hides, who you really are when excuses run dry. The mind that fears silence is the mind that will beg the world to keep it entertained, to avoid the taste of its own truth. But the calm mind walks into solitude willingly, sits with its darkness like an old friend, leaves with something the noisy never find: backbone. A storm always comes. Sometimes it is a word that cuts deeper than any knife. Sometimes it is betrayal. Sometimes it is loss, a job, a dream, a body that fails when you need it strong. The weak spend these moments asking the world why. The Stoic wastes no breath on why, only on what now. The calm mind knows storms test nothing but the shape of the spine they hit. Anger will tempt the calm mind, beg it to spit fire, to prove its power by shouting. But the Stoic sees anger for what it really is: borrowed weakness. Anger demands reaction. Calm requires mastery. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself when rage threatened to eat him alive. Train the mind to be silent where noise wants noise. Train it to stand when fear wants to run. Train it to bleed in private so the world never sees weakness as permission to strike deeper. Train it to look at pain without adding stories that break the bones before the blow lands. A calm mind is not lifeless. It is alive in places the noisy never visit. It feels the pain but doesn't fold to it. It notices the insult but does not drink the poison. It sees the chaos but does not kneel. When the storm passes, and it will pass, the calm mind remains. No victory parade, no spotlight, just the quiet strength of someone who owns the only thing worth owning: the space behind the eyes. Let them call this cold. Let them say it's heartless. The Stoic does not live to convince the soft that silence is not emptiness. He lives to remind the self that all noise bows to the mind that does not feed it. And when the storm comes again, because storms always come again, the calm mind stands where it stood before, breathing, unowned, unbroken. It will bend when bending is wisdom, but never because fear says bow. This is what the old words still breathe. Power is not loud. Strength is not always seen. Freedom is not given by the world. It is carved inside the skull by the one who refuses to let storms teach him how to drown.